Hello everybody, my name is Chris Reed and today we are continuing our tutorial series A to Z in Reason Studios. In this video we are going over blocks. Blocks is a feature in Reason which is almost like a hidden gem, but it's something that can be used to help in creativity, productivity, and to be organized. Let's jump into Reason so we can check out this feature. I'm here in Reason where I have a song file where I am using the blocks feature. Only I'm not actually able to see the blocks feature. And this is one of the reasons why I say it's like a hidden gem. You actually have to go to options and enable blocks depending on what version of the Reason you are using. So head up to options and click on enable blocks. Now that blocks have been enabled, we can see all of the blocks that we are using in our song. I'm using a block for intro, a block for chorus, a different block for verse, another block for pre-chorus, and finally a block for outro or an ending. Each of these blocks have been labeled and color coordinated. You can change the color by right-clicking it and going to clip color. You can change that to any color you would like. It helps to use the blocks because now you can see what part of the song you're actually listening to. If I want to know where the pre-chorus is, then I look on my blocks and I see, oh, the pre-chorus is here, and I can play the pre-chorus there. Sometimes you'll notice as you're creating music that you want entire sections of the music to move, or you want to make variations in that music. And so often what you will do in the song sequencer is you would have to highlight the different sounds, or you have to highlight the different instruments and delete things and copy things and paste things. And while Reason does make it easy to do that, blocks can be a feature which can help you do that even quicker. So, for example, I have this intro block. I can go into the intro block either by double-clicking the block, pressing the B button to switch to block view, or using the button here right underneath manual record, right next to where it says intro, song, and block. You can switch between song view and block view. Here in block view, I can see the different note lanes that I've used to record my MIDI notes. Let's say I want to create a different variation of this intro. I can go into the intro block, copy the MIDI notes in the intro block, move to a new block, and paste those notes inside of the new block. And now I can rename this block. I can name this block Intro Version 2. Maybe I want to do that because I want to have a variation of the intro and I want to be able to switch back and forth between them as I listen back to the music. Or maybe if I'm using a pre-chorus, maybe I want to have a variation of that pre-chorus. Well, I can use that feature and create different variations of the pre-chorus. I think in my second version, I want to get rid of those rolled piano notes that I sprinkled into the intro and just play it without it. Now let's switch back to our song view and hear what our intro sounds like now. So that's our original version. Let's switch to the actual intro version 2. So when we go back into the song view, if I click this intro block and I click the down arrow, I can switch to intro version 2. Now I have the second version of the intro and it will play. Now you may be saying if you're in the song sequencer, then you could just delete that and just move forward with your life. And that's perfectly fine. You absolutely could do that. As a matter of fact, what you could do is you could highlight all of the blocks and then convert those blocks to song clips. Now your song is created inside of Reason from the blocks that you use to create the song. And you can delete and move and transfer things as you would wish. It's perfectly fine. It's totally up to you if you want to work it in that way. It's helpful to use blocks because now I can use this intro version. Two, I can move this anywhere throughout the song that I want, and I don't have to go in and manually highlight or unhighlight different sequence, different notes or different note lanes. I just know that I have the entire version of the intro in that block. Here's one way that I have used blocks in order to create a transition from the verse to the pre-chorus. The block verse would play out as regular, but then I would copy the block verse twice and a half of its length in order to create a transition. Now, of course, like I said before, you could go in, you can change the notes, you can delete things, you can mute things, you can do a lot of different ways. But if you're using blocks, then you can shorten the length of that block, how much of that block gets played. You can lengthen it out. You can do whatever you want. So if I only want that first kick to come in, then I can shorten the block to that length and then duplicate it over. And now I have a transition into my pre-chorus. So these are some examples of how you can use the block feature. I'm going to open up a brand new file so you can see how we would typically use blocks. So if I enable blocks and then I go inside of the block, and I add an instrument. Now I have an instrument inside of my song sequencer, and I have a block that's available. Well, I don't know what this block is going to be, but I think I'm gonna just name this block drums 1. And I'm gonna use this as just drums because that's totally my option. I don't want my drums to be anywhere else. I only want the drums to be inside of the blocks. And so I will map out my drums inside of the block. So there's my first version of the drums 1. And as I go into the block, I use the pencil tool. A shortcut to use the pencil tool is to hold down the Alt key when you're in arrow mode. So if you hold down Alt, it will switch over to the pencil key. And I will draw in my lane for my drums. Of course, those drums can be transferred into a song clip. And in that case, I could use this or I could change how I'm using this block and say I want to use this now as an intro instead of as drums. Let's hit undo so we can get out of there because I know that I want to use them as drums. So we have our block here, which is drums 1. And let's add in an 808, and we're going to play the 808 on top of the blocks. Cool. So now I have my drums. I have my drums 1. Well, now let's make a drums 2 because we want these drums to have a little bit more. So we're going to copy over our MIDI from drum 1, copy it into drums 2, and now we're going to change these drums a little bit. Cool. And now I have a second drum. So as I'm creating my song, I have my first drum, and now I want to have my second drums. can copy over the entire block the same way I would copy over my 808 by holding down Control to duplicate, or copying and pasting, whatever it floats your boat, however you decide to move around in Reason. I think I want that to be drums too. I need to make that longer. Just copy that over. Change it back to drums 1. Drums 2. Let's create another variation of those drums. So now we have another version of those drums that we can use. Let's go ahead and copy one more over. We'll copy over our song. Maybe we'll drop something out, and now we have a third. Let's make this. As you can see, blocks can be used in a variety of ways, both for creativity and productivity, and as well as organization. If you've been inspired to use blocks in a different way, then go out there and on the next time you're creating in Reason, I encourage you to use the block feature. If you've already been using blocks, but maybe you saw some other way that you use it from this video, let me know down below in the comment section. If you really like this video, I would appreciate if you left a like. If you loved it, it would be great if you could share this video. And if you want to see more tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next video, and until then,